Hello friends, so the Charlotte region and upper South Carolina real estate markets are constantly evolving, and that's why today I'm going to cover everything you need to know as we close out 2024. I'm going to cover market shifts, I'm going to cover the pros and cons of the current market, I'm going to cover current mortgage rates and what's going on with those. Now, I am James Launius, and my wife is a Charlotte native, and I relocated here from the Midwest about 6 years back, and now I'm a local real estate professional helping both buyers, sellers, investors, and first-time home buyers find everything they need to on their real estate journey here in the Carolinas. I get calls, texts, and emails all the time from folks like you looking for help on their real estate journey here in my area, so give me a call, shoot me a text if you have any real estate needs. I'm happy to help. My phone, email, and Calendly link for a private Zoom call with me to discuss your real estate needs are in the description below. They are also on my YouTube banner, and I cannot wait to hear from you. And if you're looking for everything Charlotte and upper South Carolina, including day trips, vlog tours, property tours, updates like this one on the market, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It would mean the world to us, and it would help us on our journey to grow our business here in the Carolinas. Now, let's dive into the latest trends and market update for the Charlotte region. First, I'm going to cover the current state of the market. Okay, folks, so home prices. Now, we all know that things go up and down, like interest rates. We know that inventory goes up and down. We know that all kinds of factors in the market goes up and down, sideways, back and forth, everything in between. But home prices, folks, regardless of all that stuff, they remain steadily increasing by a good amount, actually. So median sales price I'm reading here for this month is $392,000 in the Charlotte region. Folks, that is up 3.7% from December of last year, which is amazing. And the average price is at $487 and change. So $487,000, I should say. That's up 8.3% from a year ago, which is crazy considering all the things that are happening, which we'll talk about in a minute. Now, condos saw the largest price jump at 6.2%, which are now at a median price of $310,000. Higher end homes, $500,000 and over, increased by 14.3% on their purchase or sales price, which is crazy. That's awesome for homeowners for homes that are over $500,000 here in the Charlotte region. So that covers prices. Now, inventory is basically how many homes are currently on the market for sale, and inventory is up a ton from a year ago. So it is up to 9,176 homes currently. Folks, that is a 28.7% increase from a year ago. So that means there are 28.7% more homes on the market now than there were a year ago, which is awesome and really shocking when you consider that prices have not gone down. So usually with more supply, there's less demand, thus lowering the prices, but prices are still increasing by a lot, which is kind of crazy. Month supply, there is a 2.6 month supply of homes currently on the market here in Charlotte. That is a 23.8% increase from a year ago, which is crazy. So that is still a seller's market though. If you're not familiar, 6 month supply of homes is right in the middle of a buyer and seller's market. So we're at 2.6 right now, so you're still on the seller's market side, although we're trending closer to a buyer's market as we get further. We'll see what happens next year though. In terms of days on market, so that's the amount of time it takes from the moment your home goes under contract until you're actually signing the paperwork and the next homeowner gets the deed and title and moves in. Now that is up to 45 days. Now that is a 36.4% increase from a year ago. Now price range impact, this is a little bit different for homes between $200,000 and $300,000 because those are taking only about 40 days. So affordable homes are a little bit more in demand, so they're not taking as long to sell, only by 5 days. It's not too crazy. And homes between 200 and 300 are only up 18.8%. So nothing too crazy, but a little bit. Now, in terms of current listings and sales activity, new listings are up 7.3% from a year ago to 3,800. So 3,800 active listings right now in the Charlotte region. Pending sales are actually up 22.5%. So that's the number is 3,194 currently pending homes. So that's how many homes are currently under contract here in the Charlotte region. So that shows that buyers are still buying homes, even though the market's maybe slowed a bit, even though it's winter time. Still a lot of homes under contract, which is great. And that's way more than even a year ago, which is kind of crazy. Well, actually, I want to talk about that more. So guys, pending sales from a year ago are up 22.5%, like I just said, okay? But inventory is up. So there's more homes on the market And also days on market are up, meaning it's taking longer for homes to sell. But there are more homes under contract than a year ago. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't make sense, but it shows the strength of the real estate market still, and the strength of appreciation, and how much homes are still selling for above what we think they would trend out as. So that's amazing, and that's a cool thing to notice. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is the Housing Affordability Index. Now, if you have not heard about this, this is essentially comparing, and a formula comparing, the median income in an area to the median home price in an area, or home value, I should say. And essentially a score of 100 on this index means that you're able to afford exactly, or so someone who has the median income, which whatever that is in Charlotte, is able to afford the median priced home. Now currently the affordability index is at 87 here in Charlotte, so that reflects that things are not quite as affordable as they have been in the past, and they're under that 100 point mark, which is a little bit discouraging, but it is a little bit encouraging because it is up 4 points since this past October, when it hit its lowest in over 20 years. Actually, it hit 83, which is literally 20 plus years since the crash in 08. So definitely something to look at. It is trending upward. We're hoping it's going to go up more. It was at 94 a year ago, so a little bit higher, but just for an example, in 2013 it cracked 200. So that means people's incomes were on average able to afford double what the average home price was, or median home price. So anyway, the higher the number, the greater the affordability is in a region. The lower number, the less affordability there is in a region. Part of my pronunciation skills. Okay, so that covers that. I want to briefly go over some general market trends and comparisons here in the area. So as you'll kind of guess from what I already said, suburban areas are still growing, like Rock Hill, Fort Mill, Monroe, Belmont, Kannapolis, Concord. A lot of these places are booming. So if you're looking to buy in some of these areas or sell in some of these areas, you're probably in pretty good shape, because there's more inventory coming up here for buyers, and there's also higher pricing in this area because these are in demand. Inventory spikes for townhomes have actually gone up by 55%. That's crazy. Condos have gone up quite a bit as well. So as a buyer starting and coming into the market, you have more options. So yeah, that's great for a lot of buyers. It's also great for sellers. It means that townhomes are maybe in a little bit less demand, because all these new construction communities for townhomes and condos are popping up all over Charlotte, meaning there's maybe less competition for those prices, or for those homes, I should say. So definitely look into that if you're looking to buy in the area. Now the luxury market, so this is $500,000 and above, is seeing faster growth compared to mid-tier homes, say in the $200,000 to $400,000 range. Definitely something to consider. It's a great sign if you have a home priced above $500,000, because your values are rising and this market is growing a lot, which is great. Because honestly, the homes that were $200,000 to $400,000 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, especially, those homes are $500,000 plus now. So good things to pay attention to. Now, everyone always asks me this question. I think you know what I'm going to say before I even say it. What are the rates? What are the mortgage rates right now? So first, I'm going to go over what the rates are and what they mean, and what they could mean for you or not mean for you going forward. So the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is at 6.69% right now as of the most recent survey on Freddie Mac. 15-year fixed rate is about at 5.96%. Now these aren't exact. There's no way to know exactly what they're at because they vary so much lender to lender, which we'll talk about in a minute. Now these rates are a little bit down in the last month or so, I would say. So about a month ago, they're up a bit. They've dropped a little bit, but in the month of September, they were actually down to the low sixes. So they're up a little bit from there. But let me tell you this, folks. Since Freddie Mac began tracking rates in April of 1971, the average or median fixed rate mortgage over this past 53 years since they started tracking rates is 7.37%. So we're actually below the 50-year average since they started keeping track. It's gone almost to 20% at times in the 80s. Now I will say in recent years, in the last 10 years or so, it's historically high because we're averaging about 4 or 5% in the last 10 years or so. So in the last 10 years, yes, it's a little bit higher, but over 50 years, it's actually a little bit lower, especially since those rates in the 80s and 90s. So something to consider. And I would say, shop around for the best rates. make sure you have a really great lender who's going to vouch for you, who's going to look for the best rate for you across a bunch of different lenders. Speaking of which, don't just go to your bank, the bank you bank with, and have all your money in and ask them, what would you give me for a rate on a mortgage? And I don't say this is a bad thing. You can do that. But I will say that they are only going to have one rate. They're going to offer one loan package, maybe one or two or three, depending on the bank. But if you get a mortgage broker who is given a commission by the lender that you end up going with, they actually will search and hunt for you sometimes 60, sometimes over 100 different lenders and find the best rate, the best loan package for you, the best loan incentives. So having a mortgage rate is invaluable, especially right now when rates are so volatile. So definitely consider getting a mortgage broker. I have a really good one. Actually, I have two really good guys here in Charlotte and another good lady that, is really good at their business. So let me know if you need a recommendation for a mortgage broker here in the area. Happy to send that over to you, or, just let me know in the comments too. Okay, so folks, we covered the market trends, the overview, we covered rates. Now I want to talk about the pros of the market. I want to talk about the pros of the market for buyers. I want to talk about the pros of the market for sellers. So for buyers, we talked about inventory being up. This means better selection. So when there's more inventory, that means there's more homes on the market and you have more homes to choose from. So you're going to have a lot more options for your dream home. If you're looking for that really specific property, there's more on the market. So you're going to have a higher chance of finding that, especially in townhomes and condos. There's so many more townhomes and condos with these new complexes coming up that you're going to have a lot of options. So that's a pro for a buyer. Now, increased days on market. How's that a pro for a buyer? Well, because it provides more negotiating leverage. Think about this. If your home, or let's say a seller's home is on the market for one day, okay, they're going to probably be a lot less likely to lower their home price if you're trying to offer lower than they would if their home's been on the market for 100 days, right? So you have more negotiation and price leverage if you're going to offer lower if the home has been on the market longer. So that's a pro. Now also we said that the higher end market is growing, so there's opportunities in these $500,000 plus markets. Definitely check that out if you're looking in those ranges. Now, pros for sellers. So median and average prices continue to rise, and it doesn't look like it's ever going to stop rising. I mean, maybe we'll get to a point eventually where home prices kind of level out, or maybe they drop a little bit, but right now it does not look like that's going to happen anytime soon. So this market is obviously continually amazing for sellers. Of course, one disadvantage for sellers potentially is that you maybe have a rate that's low and you want to keep that rate and you don't want to sell, but maybe you want to move somewhere else. Well, a pro of the market is that, hey, you can sell your home for an amazing price, and you're going to get rid of that rate, of course, but you're going to get a new home at maybe a rate that's 3-4 points higher. But guess what? If the average rates go down in another 3, 4, 5 years, you can refinance, get some equity out, and have a lower monthly payment on that principal that you borrowed. So amazing pros. Like I said before, suburban homes are remaining in demand. So if you have a home in some of these trendy suburban communities and cities like Fort Mill, Charlotte, of course, Belmont, Monroe, Waxhaw, even Kannapolis, Concord, you're in great shape. These are really in demand areas, and you'll definitely have an advantage by highlighting some of those family-friendly features and doing competitive staging. You really want to get professional photos too. Homes that are professionally staged and have professional photos sell 32% faster than homes that don't. So very important, especially in some of these areas where there's a greater demand and there's higher inventory, so more homes for sale in your neighborhood. You want to do stuff to stick out. So that's a pro for this market. About pros of the market, now I want to talk about cons of the current market, and the first one is affordability. Guys, it's hard to afford anything in this economy right now, in this market. So it's definitely a challenge, especially for first-time home buyers. It can leave people feeling a little bit hopeless, like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to be able to afford a house or to buy a house? Am I going to rent forever? And that is a real con of the market for a lot of people, because we talked about that affordability index. If you're making less than you need to buy a home in the range and area you want, then it's tough. But there are options, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Now, there is a slower sales pace as well for certain mid-tier price ranges. So in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, homes are selling a little bit slower than those in that higher range or in that lower range. So maybe that could be a con for some sellers. It could be actually a pro for some buyers because you might have more leverage. Another con of the market is that homes below $200,000 are super scarce. So homes under $200,000 are down 15.8% overall. That means there's 15.8% less homes under $200,000 on the market right now. So that eliminates a lot of buyers, especially those that, you know, are just trying to get in the market, maybe are just trying to buy a home now and only can afford something under $200,000. Well, that's definitely a con, but we're going to talk about some opportunities now for both investors and first-time home buyers. And, you know, those things are a little bit depressing that we just talked about, but there are opportunities, and we're going to talk about those now. So first of all, for investors. So if you are a seasoned investor, maybe you're just getting started out, there's tons of opportunities here in Charlotte. So condos and townhomes have increasing ROI. Those are some of the, I'd say, highest ROI properties I've seen growing here in Charlotte are townhomes and condos. There's a lot more on the market now, leading to maybe less of a demand for them, so you might be able to come in at a decent price. I've actually seen this trend recently where a lot of investors and investor groups are buying properties that are new, and you know, if you buy a rental property that's new, guess what? You don't have to repair it as much because it's brand new. Sometimes you have a builder's warranty, so you might not have to pay as much up front in terms of fixing things up and repairing things and replacing the roof and all this stuff. So that's great. So yeah, and emerging neighborhoods are great too. I tell my investors that, you know, try to get near one of these trendy downtowns, like Belmont or Waxhaw or Fort Mill, Rock Hill, York, even Kannapolis, Concord. These places are just going to keep increasing in value as these, you know, downtowns, historic areas just keep growing and becoming more popular. So great opportunity for investors. First-time homebuyers, there is hope. There are opportunities even if you are buying your first home here in the Charlotte region. Guys, there are loan programs out there for first-time homebuyers. There's of course the first-time homebuyer loan, which is pretty common. And if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years, you qualify for this, and you essentially can get in a home for as little as 3% down, which is amazing. And inventory increases can also ease entry barriers, so there might be greater leverage for getting into a home because you might be able to offer lower. And if you're a first-time homebuyer, I'd focus on those lower price ranges right now. I would focus on places where competition is slightly easing, so maybe some of those outskirt suburbs, maybe York, South Carolina, or Rock Hill, South Carolina, or I hear Hickory, South Carolina are great places where first-time home buyers can get in, get a cheaper home, and those areas are still growing a ton and are probably going to be worth a lot more in the next 5-10 years. So there are opportunities. Don't be depressed. Don't feel like I'm never going to own a home, because we can get it figured out. We can help you get into a home, and we can, you know, leverage renting for a while if you need to, and build your credit up if you have to, guys. It's definitely great for those that are, you know, getting to that point of home ownership but aren't quite there yet. Okay, folks, we talked about the overview and the current state of the market here in Charlotte region. We talked about the current rates and what they're doing, the opportunities and pros and cons of the market here in the Charlotte region. And I appreciate you listening. And all in all, inventory is up. Prices are steadily increasing still, which is insanely amazing for a lot of homeowners. And opportunities honestly do abound for both buyers and sellers. Now, I truly hope that this video helps you better understand the latest trends and shifts in the upper South Carolina and Charlotte, North Carolina market. I really hope this will help you make informed decisions if you're looking to buy or sell here in 2025. And if you find this helpful, please like this video, subscribe to our channel. We do all kinds of videos. We talk about money, real estate, day trips, local recommendations. We just did, you know, top 26 Christmas events video here in Charlotte, I think. So definitely check all these out. Subscribe to our channel. It'll help us out a ton. And like I said before, I get calls and texts all the time from folks looking to buy, sell, invest, or buy their first home here in the Charlotte region. And don't hesitate to reach out. Folks get afraid to reach out. I don't know, maybe they feel awkward, but I'm a normal person. My wife and I, we're a normal, you know, married couple here. We have a family that we're growing, and we just want to help other folks make their move to Charlotte and sell their home and fill them in on this awesome area we live in. So reach out. My phone number, Calendly link, and email are in the description below. Also my YouTube banner. And I just cannot wait to help you and your family. And whether you're ready to dive into the market now, or maybe you're just planning ahead for the next year, 2 or 3, reach out today, and my wife and I, we would be honored to be your guides and show you around town very soon.